Hey everyone, welcome back to CyberB. This is the channel where I share what I learn in cybersecurity as I go. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about what's been on my mind lately, which is which certification should I get after CompTIA Sec Plus? So I've been toying around with different options and I just kind of wanted to share my thoughts and see if anybody has any feedback and advice for me. So I have about maybe 3 or 4 that I wanted to talk about. And yeah, if you have any other ones that you thought would be a good one for me, for anyone after writing their Sec Plus, please let me know. Okay, so first one is looking at ISC squared, which is, I'm not going to even try to say the long form of that because it's such a mouthful. ISC squared. So let's look at their certifications. So CC, Certified in Cybersecurity, that's the one that I got around the same time as CompTIA Sec Plus. I think if, like for most people, I think the next one they would usually get is the security administrator. But I think it also depends on which route you want to go. So if you want to do more cloud security, there's that. There's GRC stuff. If you want to do engineering, so on and so forth. So right now, the one that I'm kind of considering is the gold standard CISSP. And let me tell you why. So the Certified Information Systems Security Professional. I was actually at a conference, iTech Vancouver conference back in October of last year, and I met this fellow there who told me that this is the first and I think only certification that he wrote after school. He's an older gentleman who has a lot of experience in the field, and that's why I'm kind of heeding his advice. And he told me that he wrote the certification and then he just waited for the work experience that he needed in order to get the the letters after his name, right? And I thought, that's kind of a genius idea. So let's quickly look into this. There's 8 domains that you'll get tested on, everything from security risk management, asset security, architecture engineering, communication and networking, identity and access management, assessment and testing operations, and software development security. So that's quite a bit. You are required to have 5 years of work experience. However, it says here, have at least 5 years of accumulative paid work experience. Internships do count, paid, I guess, in 2 or more of the 8 domains, right? Or you may be able to satisfy 1 year of required work experience with a relevant 4-year college degree, which I have, or if you hold an approved credential, which CompTIA Sec Plus is one of the approved credentials, which I also have. So unfortunately, that does not mean I can knock off 2 years. It's only 1 year. So I need to have at least 4 years of paid work experience after writing the exam. And it actually says here, don't have enough experience yet? You can still pass the exam and become an associate of ISC squared while you earn the required work experience. So I think it'd be like ISCCP associate would be like the title or whatever credential name that you can use. And that's what he was telling me, this gentleman. He was saying how, having that on your resume, letting people know that you have that knowledge, it made a big difference for him. And that's why he was suggesting it for me. And so, yeah, I'm toying with this idea. I'm lukewarm about it. I just think at this point of time in my career, which is new graduate, I'm in this job market. I really want to start working and get that hands-on experience first before I even attempt to tackle the CISSP. It's also not cheap, right? Let's see if I can find the pricing here for you. Exam. There. Exam pricing. So look, it's like $750 US, Americas, and all other region not listed below. $750. So that's like what, $1,000 Canadian? Yeah, I can't justify spending that right now. I'm poor, okay. Okay, so the next certification, let's talk about CompTIA A+. I mentioned this in one of my other videos. I'm contemplating writing this one right now. So let me take you a bit through it. So it's actually two different exams that make up one certification, and it is part of the trifecta CompTIA certification. So that's A+, Network Plus, and Security Plus. So for me, I feel like I'm going a little bit backwards because I do have Sec Plus already, and now I'm going back to get A+, mainly because two reasons. One, because I don't come from a tech background, I'm a career changer. I want to round up my knowledge of hardware and software and other things that I might be missing by not having that background. And two, it's because I actually got the vouchers for free. So, and I'll tell you why in a second, or I'll tell you how in a second. So let's continue to go through this. Right, so the new version is coming out in spring 2025. There is usually a, I don't know, 3-month or 6-month overlap between the old version and the new version. So before they retired the old version and introduced the new version, there was about a 3 to 6 months overlap. And so for me, I would need to, if I were to pursue this, I will need to write it before the old version is retired, or like the current version is retired. Okay. Okay, this is the type of stuff that you'll be learning: hardware, networking, mobile devices, operating system troubleshooting, virtualization, security, software troubleshooting, and operational procedures. So just reading all of these different skills to me sounds very relevant to cybersecurity, which is the reason why I would consider pursuing this one. So some of the jobs that you can land with the A+, with just the A+, right? IT specialist, help desk, business analyst, MSP personnel, managed service provider, tech support specialist, IT server tech, field tech, data support tech. Yeah, so pretty like, more entry level type IT roles with A+. Oh, look at this guy. Okay. Okay, exam details. So as I said, there's 2 exams. It launched in 2022, so 3 years from then, which is this year, 2025, they're introducing the new exam versions. Okay, so this is what exam 1101 covers. This is what 1102 covers. So in terms of the 2 exams, you don't need to take them in any particular order. You can start with 2 and then go to 1, which is what I would do, mainly because having Sec Plus already, I already know like a quarter of this particular exam, so it wouldn't take me that much more effort to then study up on these different things. Sec Plus also talks a bit about operating systems and operational procedures. So really it's just a bit of like software and I should be good. That's my theory anyways. And then once I get this one out of the way, then I can spend more time learning about networking and hardware and cloud. Sec Plus also talks about mobile and virtualization, not so much on cloud, a little bit on networking, nothing on hardware. So that would be maybe not nothing, like a tiny little bit, but that domain would be like the most unfamiliar and foreign to me. Okay, maximum 90 questions. It's multiple choice and some performance based. It's 90 minutes per exam. So just like Sec Plus. The first one is 675 out of 900 is a passing score. 700 out of 900 for the second one. What was Sec Plus? 750 or 700, something like that. 750, I think. Okay, so recommended experience, not required experience. So 9 to 12 months of hands-on experience in the lab or field, in the lab. Does that mean like in school, working on labs? Okay. And you can take it online or at home, or online at home or at a testing center. Okay. Okay, compares itself to some other ones. And of course the price. $253 for exam 2. Also the same for exam 1. So that's what, $506 USD for this certification. For 2 exams, 1 certification. That's not a small amount. And so I was saying before, I was able to get these 2 vouchers for free because the province that I'm in right now has this program called Stronger BC Future Skills Grant. And essentially anyone just about who's over the age of 19 that lives in BC, we are eligible for a $3,500 lifetime grant used on micro-credentials to upskill the workforce. And so I don't think it's active right now. Yeah, I think they've closed it from the last session, and probably in the spring or next fall, or sorry, this coming fall, it'll open up again. So if you're in Vancouver, if you're in BC, if you're in Canada, take a look at this. And if you're not, honestly, look at your local government's website to see if they have any programs like this that you can take advantage of, right? So it actually lists out the different colleges, community colleges, universities, post-secondary institutions that have pre-approved programs that you can spend this grant on. So for example, let me just, I don't know, let's go to here, UBC. People probably have heard of that one, University of British Columbia. I think it's the largest or the oldest university here in BC. So the list is really tiny right now. When the grant or the program was active, this list was literally probably 5 times as long, and all the other ones as well. I noticed that the school that I went to is no longer on here. I don't know why. So anywho, UBC did have a cybersecurity program, a micro certificate is what it was. And I really wanted to get into it, but I got waitlisted and I wasn't able to actually get into the class. And so the next best thing for me was I saw that they had CompTIA Security Plus. I saw that they had CompTIA A Plus, and so I applied for it, ended up getting the free vouchers, and that's the reason why I am strongly considering writing the A plus. If I were to pursue A plus, I definitely will be, shout out to Professor Messer here, definitely will be using his resources. So his free YouTube courses, also his study groups, attending live and interacting with him or other students where I can, and of course purchasing his practice exams for both of them. That's what I would do if I were committed to this one right here. Okay, the next option, this is what I was thinking. Python Institute. So a little bit different. I think because, so one of my instructors in the cybersecurity diploma program that I was in was the one who sent me in this direction. So he suggested that perhaps one of the certs that we would want to pursue after would be this one. He specifically said this one, the Certified Professional Python Programmer Level 1. But I'm looking in between this one, which costs $290 something. So like $300 USD. Yeah, $295, $300 USD versus this one, the Certified Associate in Python Programming. It's the same, it is the same price, except it has a bit more options here. So you can take the exam for $295. You can buy the exam plus a retake, exam plus retake plus practice test, or just a practice test as a standalone for $49. As I was doing my research on PI certifications, I was watching somebody's YouTube video, and they had told me that if you complete the courses, the free courses that they linked up to, you actually get a voucher. It's a discount voucher off of the exam voucher. And I think it was maybe like 50% off or something. So that would bring it down to 150 USD. Still not chump change, but a lot more palatable than $300, right? I was comparing and contrasting between these two different ones, and I have some basic understanding of Python. I took it in university. I also, like one course, I also had to learn a little bit when I was self-studying for Sec Plus, and then also in my diploma program, we had some projects where we had to code or script. So I just don't see a huge difference between the two, to be honest. I think maybe the professional one is a lot, they'll test you on a lot more stuff at probably harder questions. But based off of what is here, the PCAP, you can do a lot with this already, and you can probably apply this to whatever you want to use Python at work for. So mostly for our purposes, right? It's scripting, it's automation. That's really it. What else? So this is the kind of suggested route that they want you to take. So there's an entry one, there's an associate, which we're looking at, and then there's two. For the professional, there's actually two different ones, level 1, level 2. I'm not going to do the entry. Entry is also a lot cheaper. I think it's only like $60 US or something. But for me, like it's either associate or this level 1. That would make sense. And let me just share what I found out. So here's some meat and potatoes of it. I love the fact that you write this one time, you pass, it's a lifetime. You don't have to recertify every 3 years or have continuing education credits or anything like that. It's one and done. The exam is 65 minutes long, plus 10 minutes for tutorials and like signing an NDA. So about an hour and a half, I would budget for that. There's only 40 questions for an hour. Okay. It's single or multi-select questions, so all multiple choice on Python 3.x. Passing score is 70. That is quite high for only 40 questions on the exam. So that is what 28 questions that you have to get right out of 40. So you can only get 12 wrong. So in this case, because there's not a lot of exam questions, each question is actually weighted quite heavily. So literally one question that you get wrong can make you fail. So yeah, I rather have a longer or bigger exam. But that's just me. Okay, so you can take it at any Pearson VUE testing center. You can do it online as well. Okay, cool. Da-da-da. And okay, courses. This is also what's really interesting. So they've linked 2 courses here. One is Python Essentials 2. So what I would do is actually go back to, so first of all, these are free courses from Cisco Networking Academy and from this EduB Interactive. So note that it says Essentials 2, which means this entry level one has the Essentials 1 linked and probably like probably part 1 of the Cisco networking one. So if I were to be pursuing this one, I would definitely do the course for entry as well as this one. So if I were to pursue this certification, I would literally go back to the entry level one. Okay, scroll down to here, finish these 2 courses before I move back to the PCAP and these 2 that they have. So I went ahead, actually, let's take a look at the syllabus first. So this is for PCAP, yep. There's 5 sections, testing 12% on modules and packages, 14% on exceptions, 18% on strings, 34%, that's the meat and potatoes, OOP, object-oriented programming, and then 22% on miscellaneous. What's miscellaneous? So list comprehensions, lambdas, closures, and I/O operations. Okay. This is the retired one, so no need to look at that. Download the syllabus. I'll download it. Oh, it's just that. Oh no, there's a little bit more. Okay. Actually download it. Save. Okay, cool. So what I wanted to show you was when I clicked on these courses, I was able to enroll for free, and it looks like this. Here, I'll start from home. So you go into this is the Essentials 1. So it says, welcome to PE1, and then it's module 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a summary test, and then you can write the exam. So can I start from the beginning? I can, okay. So it just tells you about, really basic information. Where do you use Python? What is it used for? What is the syllabus? How to get certified? What is the route? There's a book that you can buy. You don't have to. Pretty sure it's just what's going to be taught in the lesson for you. So then it explains, or am I in, yeah, I'm in module 1 already. So that was fairly light. Here's module 1. I'm just going to quickly go through this just to get a feel of it. I hope there's no questions at the end. Or like throughout, I can't do that right now. So how does a computer program work? Natural languages versus programming, what makes a language, compilation versus interpretation, what does the interpreter actually do, compiling versus interpreting, advantages and disadvantages, what is Python, who created Python, is this guy still alive? I think so, Guido. Guido is his name. hobby programming project, Python goals, what makes Python special. It is easy to learn. I didn't feel like that back in university though. Python rivals, Perl, and Ruby. Okay. Where can we see Python in action? Why not Python? Oh, that's good. That's a really good section to put in there. For low-level programming, called close to middle programming, really you wouldn't use it. Okay, application for mobile devices, you would not be using Python. Okay, it most likely will happen someday. Okay, there is more than one Python. Okay, didn't know that. There's two main kinds of Python, called Python 2 and Python 3. Okay, and Python 2 is the older version of original Python, and Python 3 is the newer, or to be more precise, the current version of the language. Okay, and it's going through its own revolutionary path, creating its own standards and habits. Okay. Okay, there's one more version called CPython. Python. There's all these like different iterations of it, which is really funny. Jython, PyPy, and RPython. PyPy sounds really funny. A Python within a Python. PyPy. Getting hungry now. How to get Python and how to get to use it. Is that weird English? How to get to use it. I don't know. Yes, we can install Python, but in my program, they taught us to, and I might just install Python and work on it because like this whole course is based off of that particular software. Tells you how to run it. It's very detailed. So sorry, going back to my course, we could have downloaded Python, and this was module 1. That's pretty light. And then it goes to a quiz, which I'm not going to be taking because I'll probably fail right now. And so then there's only modules 2, 3, 4 left. So that's not too bad for Essentials 1. No wonder why it's so cheap. Okay, so instead of downloading Python, they had us download Visual Studio Code, which is a code editor. So you can use a bunch of different languages in here, including Python. And I think it is free, or at least there's a free version. I have the free version. And what I really like is that it is color-coded. There's also a button in here that you can press to help you debug. So if you put something in here, it's not working, and you're like, I don't understand why it's not, there's a little mini mentor in here that kind of goes through your code and will highlight the line where it's not, like where there's the error, and then you can kind of figure it out yourself from there. Or you try to, or ask ChatGPT, or ask a person, something like that. And here's another one that I'm looking into right now. It's the Microsoft Certified Security Compliance and Identity Fundamentals Certificate. This is one of their foundational ones, which means there's no expiration date. You don't need to earn any credits. You don't need to recertify every 3 years. It's a lifer. Okay, so let's look at this together. It's for a beginner level. You're using their Azure product, so that's cloud, which is a great compliment. You know, how I see it is really like all the security concepts, frameworks, and all that stuff that we learned in SEC Plus or another similar certification. It's the same thing except applied in a Microsoft ecosystem. And so you're really using their tools to apply these type of concepts. So if you're looking to familiarize yourself with the fundamentals of security, compliance, identity across cloud-based and related Microsoft services. So this is what you're going to get tested on, these 4 things. So do people call it SCI, Security, Compliance, Identity? Okay, anyway, second one is Microsoft Entra. I don't know what that is. Microsoft Security Solutions and their compliance solutions. And they have a free course for you. This is about like 8 hours long, by the way. You can see 45 minutes, 2 hours, 2 hours and a half, almost 2 hours on exactly those 4 things that we went over. So majority is focusing on how to use it how to apply the frameworks and concepts within their Microsoft tools. You have free practice tests to take. You can also use their exam sandbox. That's also free. The exam is 45 minutes long. I wonder how many questions that is. It will be proctored and is not open book. Okay. You may have interactive components to complete a part of this exam. So it's kind of like those performance-based questions in CompTIA exams. To learn more about duration experience, please visit this. Let's see what they have. And if you fail, don't worry, you can retake in 24 hours after the first attempt. Of course, nobody wants to fail or intends to fail. You can also ask for accommodation if you need it. The exam comes in all these different languages, which is amazing. In the US, it's $99 USD. In Canada, it says $84 USD, which is $109 or $110 Canadian, which is not bad because all the other ones that we looked at, it's like a couple hundred. So this is probably the, one of the cheapest ones. You can schedule it through Pearson VUE, which is, I guess, like the standard one that everybody uses. Or if you're a student or a teacher, then you got to schedule through this Cert port. Never heard of them. What else? They have a study guide here for you. There's a certification poster. We'll look at that. This study guide is free. We'll take a look. Okay. Exam duration and exam experience. Okay, so fundamental exams is 45 minutes, seat duration. So your ass is going to be in the seat for 65 minutes. What else? Unscheduled breaks. You may take unscheduled breaks. Okay, 5-minute breaks. For 45 minutes, or an hour, 65 minutes, sorry, your ass in the seat for 65 minutes. You're not going to need to take a break. Just go pee before. Otherwise, you're just wasting valuable time. Take a practical exam. Okay, it doesn't really tell me how many. These are good things to go over just for insight on what the exam's going to be about. It doesn't tell me how many questions, just the types. Anywho, this is the kind of roadmap, so to speak. So we're over here on the right-hand side that says security. And this is the one that we're looking at right now, which is the CISSP. It's the fundamentals. And then depending on the role that you want to go into, you can take any one of these ones. So there's Azure Security Engineer Associate, or Cybersecurity Associate, Cybersecurity Architect Expert, SecOps Analyst, Identity and Access Administrator, Info Protection and Compliance Administrator Associate. And then they don't have specialized ones. I'll tell you this other one that I kind of have my eye on as well, which is also fundamental. Under infrastructure, it's this one, Azure Fundamentals. It's all about cloud computing, which is pretty related to cyber. So just kind of looking into that one as well. That's basics. These are role-based. And then these ones are specialty, which the security path doesn't have, but that's okay. Here's their study guide. It's pretty comprehensive. It's like a wiki, so everything's linked out, which is kind of cool. So at any point in time, they can see, look, update it. This is pretty recent. It's less than a year ago, like half a year ago. Yeah, okay, it tells you the percentage breakdown. I'm still trying to see how many questions they're going to ask me. But it's okay. We don't need to know that right now. Okay, so it is $99 USD. However, there's a couple things you can do to get a discount because you know me, I like my discounts. So there are these things called Microsoft Security or virtual training days. That's what they're called. And Microsoft puts them on. They're completely free and they're usually online. So the next one for the security one is happening February 6th and 7th, 2025. And as you can see, it's only 3 hours each in the morning. I'm looking at Pacific time for me. You sign up and you get a code, like a Zoom link or something. Probably not Zoom. They probably use whatever Microsoft uses. And at the end of it, you get, after completing this training, you're eligible to take the exam at 50% off the price. So that will drop from 99 to 49 USD, which is like what? Let's say 110, like 55 bucks Canadian, which is pretty good. Another way for you to get a discount for people who are still students or at least has access to a student email is to sign up for their, is to create a student profile. It doesn't tell you on here how much the discount is, but I was reading somewhere and I believe it is a 50% off. So either way, take the virtual training day or sign up to be a student, you're going to get 50% off. Unfortunately, that does not apply to our friends in India and China. That's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, watch another one for more hands-on cybersecurity. As always, I'd love to know your thoughts in the comment section below. Stay curious and see you in the next video.